Searing heat, unlike any I have ever known. My skin burns. My throat aches for water from a bottle that has long been drained and discarded. I look down at my 5-year-old daughter. Rojha collapsed for the second time on the hard mountain face. "My legs hurt, Mommy. I can't walk anymore," she whimpers. "We have to keep going, Rojha. It is not safe here," I plead, pulling her up to her feet. Iran's harsh Zagros mountains had looked so enticing and magnificent from a distance, but close up, they are covered with loose rocks and rise at a treacherous incline. As we climb, I deliberately keep Rojha to the right of me. One wrong step, and we plummet to our deaths. But this desperate journey is the only way I know to get Rojha and me out of Iran. I'd rather we die than go back and subject my daughter to the lifetime of oppression that awaits her there with her father. We have to get out of here. We're never going back to him. Finding out that your partner wants to be with someone else is difficult. For me, at the age of 34, with a broken marriage behind me, and now a failed 2-year relationship, I struggled to cope. I was living in Dublin, where I thought my dreams had come true. In many ways, yes, Iran, where I had grown up, happy, but with limited freedom after the revolution, was behind me, and I cherished the liberties of my new country. But I had grown apart from Jabbar, the husband I had left Iran with. We had filed for divorce in 2003, and the relationship I then entered into with an Irishman had also floundered. Too much Muslim for him, too little for my ex-husband. For a year, I tried to pull myself together, but I found myself increasingly unable to focus on my work as a financial advisor, and I had very little interest in life. I was immensely depressed, immersed in feelings of failure about who I was and where I was going. I no longer knew where I belonged, lost and alone. I didn't know where to turn, so I did what many people do in hard times. I went back to my parents. I returned to Iran. I was glad I had taken the chance to come to Iran to rejuvenate in the hometown I love. As a child, when anyone asked me where I was from, I would always grin broadly and proclaim with great pride, "I am from Rasht city." Our family home stands right in the heart of Rasht, near the food markets. Rasht is close to the Mosuleh Mountains, home of the famous Mosuleh steppe village, so called because the land is so steep that one house's front yard is another house's roof. Beyond that village, you come to the most beautiful waterfalls. The narrow roads leading up to the mountains are lined with village women dressed in traditional and colorful gilaki tunics and scarves. These women sell traditional homemade bread sweetened with honey, saffron, and vanilla, and served hot. The humid climate of Rasht is particularly uncomfortable for women. Although males can wear short sleeves, by law, young girls from the age of 9 have to cover themselves up with long-sleeved tunics, shalvar, trousers, and rusari, scarves. When I was a child, I had constantly complained to my mother about this as I trudged around in heavy garments, while my brothers ran around cool and carefree in their t-shirts. "That is the law, Sami," she always replied, the dutiful Shia Muslim forever trying to raise her daughter properly. This law about women's clothing was one of many enforced by the Revolutionary Guards who patrolled the streets in Iranian cities. I cannot remember a time when I had not been aware of the Revolutionary Guards, even as a child. Those men and women in uniform came in after the Iranian Revolution of 1979, and still today are the military elite, whose role is to protect the regime, by force if necessary. The revolution certainly brought changes, but not the kind of changes the people I knew so desperately wanted. The wealthy took the opportunity to leave Iran, but most people did not have the money to escape and had to stay and anxiously await what the future would bring. No matter what people may have thought of the police under the regime of the Shah, the Revolutionary Guards proved far more hostile and power-hungry. They did not tolerate resistance, and protesting against the new regime could, and often did, result in death. Now, many years later, on this trip back to a repressive country that was so different from my adopted Ireland, I vowed to show Saba the real, enduring beauty of the country of my birth, taking her to all the places I had loved in the cheerful innocence of childhood. Despite its current government, Iran is a beautiful country, and I love every corner of it.